Good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about another in-depth philosophical martial arts topic. Creating your own martial art. Booyah! Right, as always, let's start on the most positive, and that is hope you're well, hope you're safe, and hope you're looking forward to summer, because summer is right around the corner. Okay, so today's video, we are going to talk about creating your own martial art. Again, this came out of a poll I put forward, various different options, and this one happened to get the most interest. So let's talk about creating your own martial art. First thing I'd say for anybody who's going to create their own martial art is why? Why do you want to make your own martial art? So usually, I suppose when I thought about this, people would usually want to create something which doesn't exist. And I appreciate it sounds very, very simplistic and quite illogical, but in the world of martial arts, let's go through them. You've got striking arts, you've got grappling arts, competition-based martial arts, self-defense martial arts, dispatch martial arts, performance martial arts, extreme martial arts. Martial arts is quite varied enough as it is. And yet, if you were to create your own martial art, to me that would imply that you feel something is missing in the martial arts world. A need in the martial arts industry, or world, if you want to, depending on your terminology, is not being met. Something in martial arts is not being met for you to want to go and make your own martial art. You want to give something to the martial arts world which is not there. Essentially, that's why I believe people want to create their own martial arts. Whether what type of martial art they create is very subjective. Are you wanting to basically create a fusion of existing martial arts? Are you wanting to create something which is completely novel and doesn't already exist, as we've mentioned earlier? Are you wanting to create something which is maybe based on an existing martial art, but you recognize maybe the gaps in that martial art and you're wanting to create something like a new version of that martial art to fill in those gaps? So it's not going to be a pure martial art in that sense. It's going to be mostly maybe 70-80% of a martial art, and the other 20-30% is going to be taken from another martial art but has an important component. However, this was brought to my attention many years ago by an old friend who said, why would you want to create a martial art, totally new one from scratch? Why not simply just have your base martial art and just include maybe a few more punches into it? Or still have your base martial art, but maybe throw in a bit more grappling and groundwork, but you can still call it your original base foundation martial art. Why would you need to basically say, I have a background, say, in Shotokan, for sake of conversation, but I didn't like Shotokan because it lacked X, Y, and Z, so therefore I created my own martial art. Why not still practice Shotokan and just say, okay, I acknowledge the gaps and flaws in Shotokan, but I'm going to personally put maybe a few more elements which are lacking in Shotokan to round off my Shotokan experience, but I'll still call it Shotokan. Why not do that instead? As an example, my background is taekwondo. I've experience in both ITF and WT. WT taekwondo, they're beginning to introduce a few more hand techniques, but when I was training in WT taekwondo almost full time, you never used your hands in competition. And yet when I came to spar, I loved using hands because nobody expected it from a WT taekwondo player. Yet did I call myself a different martial artist, or did I at that time see that I was creating a new martial art? No. I still saw myself as a taekwondo-in, just a taekwondo-in who happened to use a few more hand techniques. I didn't see what I was doing as warranting a whole new different martial art. I thought, okay, these are gaps in taekwondo. I'm just going to remedy those gaps, but it's still going to be taekwondo. Almost like you're making yourself a spaghetti bolognese. And all your life you've been given a very bland spaghetti bolognese. You come to create your own spaghetti bolognese, or make your own spaghetti bolognese, I should say, and you just throw in a few more extra ingredients, oregano, or thyme, or a few mushrooms, garlic, I don't know, stuff like this. You're still making spaghetti bolognese, but you're just giving it your own personal twist, but it's still spaghetti bolognese. Same as these martial arts. Another topic, I suppose, really with making your own martial art from my experience, what I've seen, it seems to carry quite a bit of ego behind it. And of course, that is a generalization. I'm not saying every single person who makes their own martial art has a big ego. However, a lot of people who I've seen will create their own martial art, and it's fueled by this sort of grandiose self-importance. It's almost like, oh, I was wise enough to recognize that the martial arts was lacking in something, so I stepped in and renovated the whole martial arts industry, or I was a revolutionary, this kind of thing. And again, I suppose if you, my own personal prejudice of Choi Kwang Do coming through, Choi Kwang Do is the archetype of that sort of modality, because Choi Kwang Do basically came away from taekwondo because Kwang Jo Choi, who started Choi Kwang Do, said, oh, I did taekwondo and it damaged me, so therefore I created this superior martial art. And that smacks of egoism, especially if Choi Kwang Do don't even compete, so they can't put that claim to the test, as I've discussed many, many times before in different videos. However, it's that ego which came out of Choi Kwang Do, presenting itself as something superior to what's already been established. The already tried and tested dogma is somehow inferior, so I created something new and I'm calling it superior, even though it's never been tested. That's egoism 101 right there for you in the martial arts world. But it's not just Choi Kwang Do. I've met instructors who've done that, created their own martial arts, and they claim that they have this like superior knowledge, or they present and it comes across as though they've got this superior knowledge. They present themselves as though they're this all-knowing guru kind of type of person, and that their martial art is somehow more complete or more effective because they're this wise, omniscient being. Anyway guys, that is my little video about creating your own martial art. 1, why do you want to do it? 2, are you going to put your ego into it? 3, is it going to be a completely new style? Or are you going to basically have a base style, but you're going to like take bits and bobs from different other styles and put them together, which could be argued to be a Jeet Kune Do concept approach? What do you think? Let me know. Want to create your own martial art style with me? Though mind you, upon saying that, I did create Dark Jeet Kune Do, and I'm making a new martial art called Jeet Kune Do X. Yeah, that was a bit corny, I guess. I'll probably edit that out when I come to edit this video. Stay safe, train hard, and keep listening to Miss Sugar because they're the best band around, and I'll see you all in the next video. Booyah!